It's quiet Sunday, mostly less traffic and more birds. So we're gonna have Basho's reading from Essential Haiku, edited Robert Haas, page 59, the Saga Diary, Basho 1691, translated prose, translated by Etsuko Terasaki. The 18th day, the fourth moon. On the 18th day of the fourth moon in the fourth year of Kenroko, we made an excursion to Saga and arrive at Kororei's country house. Fallen persimmons. Bancho accompanies me. He stays until evening and then returns to Kyoto. I am to stay a little longer. The paper screen doors have been patched. Weeds have been pulled in a room in the corner of the house. Has been prepared as my bedroom. There is a desk, an inkstone, a writing case, and the following books. Pu Chui's collected poems, Chinese poems by Japanese poets, one by each, tales of succession, the tale of Genji, the Tosa Diary, and the Pine Needle Collection. Along with these are various sweets arranged in a set of 5 gold lacquered containers, stacked one on top of the other, with pictures painted in the Chinese style and a bottle of vintage sake with wine cups. The bedding and relishes are brought over from Kyoto and are not lacking in any respect. I forget my previous abstemious existence and enjoy the luxury. The 19th. At about the middle of the hour of the horse, we visit Risen's temple. The O River flows in front of the temple just to the right of Mount Harashi, into the village of Matsuno. The coming and going of worshippers to the Bodhisattva Koku is continuous. Among the bamboo thickets of Matsuno is one of the reputed sites of Lady Goko's residence. There are 3 of these sites in the upper and lower Saga Valley. I wonder which one is the real one, since there is a bridge nearby called Horse Stopping Bridge, where Nakakuni of old is said to have paused with his horse. Might it not have been this area? Lady Kogo's grave is in the bamboo thicket next to the small tea house. A cherry tree has been planted as the grave marker. She who spent her daily life in silk embroidered garments and quilts in the end turned into dust and compost among bamboo thickets. I am reminded of the willow of Chochung village, the flower of Wuni shrine of the old Chinese legends. Poem. Sad nodes. We're all the bamboo's children in the end. Sad nodes. We're all the bamboo's children in the end. Harashi Mountain, the path of the wind through the bamboo grove. That's the next poem, Harashi Mountain, the path of the wind through the bamboo grove. We return to the house as the sun begins to sink. Bancho comes from Kyoto. Korai returns to Kyoto. I retire early in the evening. 20th. Nun Uko comes to see the festival of North Saga. Kyorei comes from Kyoto. talks about the following poem, which he says he composed on the way here. Poem, Wrangling Children, they're all the same height as the barley. Wrangling children, they're all the same height as the barley. Fallen Persimmon's house is unchanged from the way it was built by the previous owner. But here and there are some damage and decay. The present wretched condition is indeed more appealing to us than its previous polish and refinement. The sculptured beams and painted beams, too, are damaged by winds and soaked by rains. Uniquely shaped rocks and pine trees are hidden under weeds. The blossoms of a single potted lime tree in front of the bamboo are fragrant. They inspired these verses. Lime blossoms. Let's talk about the old days. Making dinner in the kitchen. Lime blossoms. Let's talk about the old days making dinner in the kitchen. Poem, Cuckoo's Cry. Moonlight seeps through the thicket of bamboo. Cuckoo's cry. Moonlight seeps through the thicket of bamboo. Now that's the famous poem with Hotogisu, and we've heard that one with this. Moonlight seeping through the bamboo. Will come again, so ripen strawberries of Saga Mountain. Next poem, will come again, so ripen strawberries of Saga Mountain. The wife of Korei's older brother sends us some sweets and relishes. This evening, Basho and Etsuko stay overnight. Since 5 of us sleep together under one mosquito net, it is difficult to fall asleep, and a little after midnight, each of us gets up, bringing out the sweets and sake cups. So this afternoon we talk until nearly dawn. Last summer, when Basho slept at my house, people from 4 different provinces slept under a 2-mat mosquito net. We all laugh when somebody remembers that on that occasion someone said in passing, 4 minds, 4 dreams. As morning arrives, Etsuko and Basho's return to Kyoto and Korei stays on. See, they would stay up all night talking until dawn. You think that's what they used to do before?
I woke up because there was
before the
internet. There were sweets also. There was lots of food.
And they all were sleeping under the same mosquito net.
And we woke up to drink and to eat.
Drink and eat. Really?
And they had all that food stuck in there.
Seems they had a good time.
Luxurious, she said.
Well, they said the one guy, the other poet, was saying Basho was high, or Basho was rich. Basho was in the upper caste, whereas Isa was a poor guy, middle class. Basho really circulated with upper class, and he was educated. On the 25th, 21st, I feel somewhat poorly from lack of sleep last night. This guy who shouldn't be sleeping with all those people from 4 provinces under the same net. How can you sleep? I feel somewhat poorly from lack of sleep last night. This guy Under like yesterday is clouded since morning, and as the rain falls from time to time, I sleep and laze around all day long. After sunset, Kore comes back to Kyoto, goes back to Kyoto. No one is around this evening. As I can't fall asleep or having slept during the day, I look for the scraps of paper on which I jotted down random thoughts at the hut of the phantom dwelling and make clear copies. 22nd. It rains during the morning. No visitors today. I feel lonely and amuse myself by writing at random. These are the words. Who mourns makes grief his master. Who drinks makes pleasure his master. Who mourns makes grief his master, and who drinks makes pleasure his master.
Very smart.
The fact that Saga composed the poem that begins, I shall be unhappy without loneliness, shows that he made loneliness his master. He also wrote, in the mountain village, who are you calling? Yo buko bird, I thought you lived alone. We didn't encounter that poem from Saga, did we? He's quoting Sagio's poem. In the mountain village, who are you calling? Yo buko bird, question mark, I thought you lived alone. Yeah, why is the bird calling? Bird, he thinks this bird lives alone, so why is the bird calling out?
It's like Saga. It's very much like
He says the fact that Sagio composed the poem that begins, I shall be unhappy without loneliness, shows that he made loneliness his master. He also wrote, in the mountain village, who are you calling, yo buko bird? I thought you lived alone.
And Saga, he always said nobody visited him, nobody visited him.
He complained no one visits him, but he made loneliness his master. And Basho says, who mourns makes grief his master. Who drinks makes pleasure his master.
It was wrong.
There's nothing so intriguing as the living alone. Shosho, the recluse, said, if one's guest enjoys a half-day's leisure, his host loses a half-day's leisure. Last thing you want is guest. There's too many holidays and birthdays, right? If one's guest enjoys a half-day's leisure, his host loses a half-day's leisure.
So
All that time cooking and every time we have guests, we cook and we don't get any poetry read and we cook all day. If one's guest enjoys a half-day's leisure, his host loses a half-day's leisure. There's nothing so intriguing as living alone. Cho, the recluse said.
When you enjoy
What?
leisure, I lose leisure.
I get leisure and you have to cook. I'm a guest.
You act like you are.
So you want to have leisure and just don't cook then and I'll go on a fast. We're reading from Essential Haiku and we're reading the Saga diary of Basho. We've returned. We're into the back to Basho movement.